What happens when you take 13 of Saskatchewan's best and most creative chefs, along with a room full of local celebrities from the worlds of arts, politics, and entertainment, and introduce them to 17 dedicated organic farmers and the exceptional products they produce. Where you might just get yourself an invitation to dining with the stars.
Hey Lauren, how you doing?
Hi Ken, how's it going?
Excellent, excellent. Well, the snow's.
Yeah, the snow's not so excellent, but
it's all right. It makes it even nicer in here.
It does. Christmas. And I've got some coffee here for you.
Oh boy, that's great.
Take the chill off. Here, let me take your...
I'll throw it over here. I kind of gone back to my heritage. I grew up on a cattle ranch, and I'm promoting cowboy culture basically, and plays that I do, but mostly with this cowboy poetry going around the countryside. My first poem is called The Missouri Coteau, and it's set around a campfire with the cook there, you know, and the guy says something about, Donnie's, we'll say Lawrence if you like, but it talks about what the food that he's missed. This cowboy's come back to the hills after been drifting the world for 30 years or something like that, and he misses the food more than anything. So he comes back to this campfire cookout that they got on with a chuck wagon up there in the hills at night, and it sets a tone and a mystique for local product, or like life on the range, food from the range basically. So you might want to consider, I could probably do that piece.
Oh. So I was thinking it might be kind of fun if we built our menu around the cowboy theme.
That's a great idea. You mean like a chuck wagon dinner, or
just to harken back to those times,
outdoor cooking, that kind of thing.
And it kind of fits with the food that we serve at the Fainting Goat, which tends to be rustic, and I don't like to over fancify the food. I like it.
Oh, I think it's a great idea. Great idea. So might you have game, like a buffalo or a bison rather, or
yes,
venison?
I was thinking bison or beef. It's up to you. We can get organic bison and or beef. So what would you prefer?
Well, actually, I favor bison. I've written poems about beef and the importance of beef, but in fact. Especially as the Saskatchewan product has come on into the market, if I'm going into a restaurant or something and they've got bison on them, I'll try that just to see what's going. Just like I tried the goat when you opened your place here. It was great.
Yeah. Well, that sounds excellent. Now, how do you see? How would you like to have this bison served?
Well, I'm kind of partial to a stew pie, like or buffalo and biscuit kind of pie, that idea. I don't know if you can do something like that, but it tastes to me of the open range, and then you get the organic whole grain wheat in there too, and things like that.
Well, I'm thinking maybe if we took the bison and we braised it in some organic beer, and and maybe the biscuits we can either serve them on the side.
Well, the biscuit is just a reference to the pie, really, cover, but yeah,
but
sure.
The pie cover, I can put it on top too. Yeah, no, that could work. Okay, so and then we'll put some root vegetables in there, some carrots. I've got some wonderful parsnips.
Absolutely.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Root vegetables. Okay, great. Well,
How about squash? You got any squash available?
I do. how about, what if we do a soup with the squash? That'll be our opener.
Ooh.
Sound good?
Butternut squash?
Butternut squash soup.
Wow.
Well, in my mind, I'm thinking maybe I've got some wonderful beets, that maybe we do a beet salad, and got some organic pea shoots. Mix.
Yeah.
Maybe a little cheese of some sort, maybe a goat cheese or something.
Goat cheese, perfect.
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, so a beet salad, and I've got a very nice raspberry wine that we're going to be pairing it with. So that might, it's sweet and tart, so it might pair quite nicely. Yeah.
Where's that come from?
That
Do you know?
comes from Living Sky Winery.
Oh yeah.
So again, grown in the province. This is made out of raspberries, and we'll be featuring those wines.
Jeez.
Yeah. Maybe an accompaniment for the bison and biscuit pie, we do something with incorporating our local wild rice.
Yeah.
Do you like wild rice?
Oh, I love wild rice.
Yeah. Lentils. And then to refer back to the poem, some beans, some organic beans. I think I've got some organic cranberry beans actually downstairs.
Try to go for something a little exotic like that. It might be good rather than just, brown baked beans, which are...
Yeah, so no, that sounds fantastic. Oh, or maybe I'll just do a little thing of exotic baked beans. Yeah, something like that. Okay, that certainly gives me food for thought.
Mm-hmm.
And then for dessert, we've got some organic prairie cherries. I've also, from up north, got just recently some high bush blueberries and high bush cranberries. So I was thinking...
Wild. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. What do you think about maybe a dessert with that?
Well, how could you go wrong with something like that? What would I think about it? Save an extra portion for me, okay?
Oh, for sure.
Or Saskatoons too, you know. You
can. I'll just do a prairie fruit.
Yeah.
Pie.
Pie. That's what a great idea.
Yeah. Thank you very much for coming in. We've got our menu now. We've got our night set. All we need is you and your cowboy hat and your poem. I think we're good to go.
They're always talking years.
It is a celebration of food and of people. Right.
You get used to being blinded?
Yeah. And food to our new friendships and the evening.
That's a great opportunity, actually, to give blessings. I think it's incredible kind of concept that the restaurant and the company, the Saskatchewan Organic Directorate has put before us. So a cowboy blessing is appropriate. May the rain fall on your pastures, and your grass grow belly high, and your calves grow fat and sassy, and none of your cows be dry. May your horse be sure-footed and blessed with good cow sense. May your neighbors lend a hand when you have to mend a fence. May the sun shine on your crops when you harvest in the fall. May your handshake be considered your word by one and all. And if your life is filled with happiness, or when it's sad and gray, may those you love be with you to share each blessed day.
My name's Dan Morton. I'm the head chef here at the Faint and Goat. Lauren's the executive chef and owner, and she's going to be handing out our amuse-bouche for this evening. It's a chickpea hummus with spelt and lentil in it. That's wrapped in a whole wheat pita, and that's garnished with some Brunoise red peppers, black sesame seeds, and pea shoot leaf. Well, I was going to just quickly make it disappear. And
Overtime.
My gosh, is amused. in my position as the media coordinator for the Food Miles Committee, which is part of the Saskatchewan Organic Directorate, one of my mandates was to create awareness of local and organic food around the province. And to that end, I did a number of other little things, websites and directories and attending events and all those things that are typical. But I had one project in mind called Dine with the Star that I thought would potentially bring more attention to the issue.
I'm here as the official celebrity of the occasion. No, I'm hard pressed to explain why. But you'll hear more from me later on. I just think it's a wonderful concept. When Marion first called to talk about this idea as a fundraiser for the directorate and their programs, I thought I got to take part in that. So I'm here as a volunteer, really helping to promote organic, local food production.
This is the kind of event that we're most happy to be hosting. And you know, it just pleased as punch. Did I really say that?
This is acorn squash puree soup. It's made with a little bit of cream, parsnips and carrots from D&D, and it's just very basically seasoned with salt and pepper, but we've also included some of the wine that you have in front of you, the Lucen Brothers Riesling. That just gives a little bit of apple flavor to it and helps bring out some acidity in the squash. Brings out some of the sweetness too. So enjoy.
Fantastic.
Is it just the cream?
Oh yeah.
I was talking to you in general. You don't know?
It's fantastic.
Oh dear.
It's really good. It's delicious.
It's like that stuff out of the box, but so much better. Do you know what I mean? Like the stuff that we buy?
Yeah. It's like that non-real.
It's made with real stuff here.
Yeah, you pour it out of the containers.
Useful.
A lot better. More than a little cream.
While this is going on, and I think our next course is going to be salad, I'm going to ask our celebrity to take the floor and do a little bit more of his poetry or whatever else he would like to contribute at this point, perhaps.
Well, you never know what's going to come out of me when you ask me to attend and say things, you know.
Open mic.
As you said earlier, I've written a lot of different things in my life, including lectures at the university. But 10 or 12 years ago, I started taking interest in my own roots, which is rural Saskatchewan, cowboy culture. I grew up in the shade of the Missouri Plateau, out south of Moose Jaw there, and that's where I learned to ride and to chase cattle around. But I left that at the age of 17 because it was cold, hungry, kind of dirty work that I was doing for the most part, and so I went on to Toronto to become an intellectual. And I'm now returning to my roots, and one of the ways that I'm doing it is through celebrating kind of a frontier culture, particularly cowboy culture. I've taken quite an interest in cowboy poetry, and also this last summer, cowboy theater. We're running along the Capel Valley a show, an outdoor drama on horses called The Spirits of the Trail. It's about a story about Walsh and Sitting Bull in the late 1870s in the Northwest Territories before Saskatchewan existed. Anyway, that's just to bring you up to date on what I'm doing. And I'm going to I'm going to see what you think of this poem. This is I wrote this for the Cattlemen's Association. Really, as you know, cowboys. It's impolitic to say anything against beef, but in working with the menu, I actually indicated a preference for game meat, particularly bison if it was available here. So that's why we're having bison on the menu. We'll get to that later. This is called "Here's the Beef." I wrote this. Does everybody remember the BSE crisis? Oh yeah. Okay, get a free drink for anybody who could tell me what BSE stands for.
Bovine spongiform encephalopathy.
I knew there'd be a smart ass here. Bovine spongiform encephalopathy. He did it. So, I owe you a drink. It's on its way. Which almost ended the Canadian beef growers industry. They were near collapse and it wasn't a medical problem at all. It was a political problem that came from our fellow cattlemen in the South. So I thought I could write a piece that was political in this way, promoting beef. And more of our producers have to do this. So it's called Here's the Beef. The taste of cow is what I crave when I'm fixing to chow down. Of all the food in our fair land, it's beef that takes the crown. So KD can take a hike with your Brussels sprouts and beans. I'll take the beef, my luscious beef, and cut the sirloin lean. Last night I brought some T-bones out, fired up the charcoal grill, when my mother-in-law, a vegan type, says, "How many calves did you kill? And how do we know this didn't come from those dreadful, insane cows that shocked Japan and put the fear in our neighbors to the south?" She says, "I joined up with Oprah Winfrey, Save the Cattle guys. We're raising heck across the land to halt this bovicide." Well, my head spun out, my knees went weak, my guts began to crunch. If I didn't answer in her face, I'd be eating tofu lunch. My kids awaited my reply, their faces froze with fright. Their supper would be chlorophyll, lest I put their granny right. Well, she weren't the type to give a darn about the workings of the range. She weren't the she weren't that fond of grassland life, and she fair gave us all the mange. So I put my head in thinking mode. Had to show her common sense or get thrown like a greenhorn toad. Now listen, Ma. For muscle strength, whether you're a senior or a teen, you need the finest common source of iron and protein. It's got riboflavin, niacin, zinc, omega-3, amino acids, thiamine. It's smoking with vitamin D. There's a reason beef is always ranked the first choice of the nation. It's because it's healthy, hearty, wholesome grub, not processed abomination. So KD can take a hike, and Oprah with her greens. I'll take the beef, my luscious beef, and cut the sirloin.
Hi, I'm Bob Belfer, President of R&J Milling. Welcome to R&J Milling. We sell a variety of flours, everywhere from wheat flour, spelt flour, rye flour, durum flour, and a little bit of pea and lentil flour. What makes R&J Milling unique is that I'm able to grow the grains and also to be able to mill it and then to market right direct to the customer. Once my flour is done, I bag it off into the size that the customer requires, anywhere from a 2, 10, or 20 kg or into 1 metric ton totes, and from there it goes into the markets across Western Canada. Well, everybody, including the governments, are all looking at a green plan now, and so that really wasn't back when I first started. I just had to have my own green plan, and that green plan was to be organic and have that healthy lifestyle, being able to have healthy food, clean air, clean water, and physical exercise in order to keep a healthy body.
right, so you have your entree in front of you there. Some of you are digging in, that's great. Served with that is the tank house that Judd talked about. So on the very bottom of the plate, we have a lentil and wild rice pilaf, most of which provided by R&J Milling, our friend there, as well as the flour for the whole wheat biscuit that's on top. Got brown beans, baked brown beans, and those are from Norquin. They're a quinoa company, and they also grow a number of other things. And then the stew on top of the bottom half of the biscuit there, we've got Clear Creek bison and some D&D root vegetables there.
Can't help but be curious, impatient to taste them.
You don't often find wild rice, I've got to say, in your average chuck wagon dinner. But I appreciate the fact that it isn't pure cowboy in that respect, because it's worked very well. Nor would you find lentils in your average cowboy meal, I got to say. But I like the change. I like the shift upward. Maybe we can make it the meal of the future. Yeah, it could. Sure good to see old Hank again, riding with our crew, along the trail in the big Kato. It's been years since he was through. He left here for the rodeo, then took up tending bar and living the life of a vagabond with a banjo and guitar. There's heavy lines across his face, and his eyes seem kind of dull, as if them years he spent down south been etched inside his skull. "Boys," says he, "I'm tickled green to be sitting by your fire, 'cause all the fancy bars I've seen can't set a tone no higher. That grub we ate is what I craved each night in every town. Your buffalo and biscuit pie in taverns can't be found. Oh, I've tried your horses' duvers and the bistros of Orleans and all the bins on Broadway, but you can't match Brian's beans. And smart talk, I heard lots. In some courtrooms here and there, but I tell you, men, my learning began when I heard old Bill here swear. As for music, I took in a few big concerts in my days, but I still prefer the steady purr of a crackling pinewood blaze, or the plaintive howl of a coyote prowling through yon aspen woods that's going to affect the hair in your neck like no soprano could. I've wandered the world, looked at great art, your Leonardos and Vince Van Gogh. But if you want to study a masterpiece, you take a sunset on the Kato. Look at it there, all purple and gold against the blue like a robin's egg. No painter, I know, can capture the flow of those shapes on heaven's lake. Folks talk about the glory and the sights of ancient Rome. They line up by the millions to gawk at old St. Peter's Dome. But if you seek a vista that will calm your aching eyes, just come up here and stretch out on the land of living skies. And pour me out another cup of Lauren's black as Satan brew. The cafes I've been drinking late are thin as moose jaw stew. I'll just sit and reflect a bit on the loneliness of bars and the music of the big Kato and the distances of stars. Good. Thank you.
Was that a true story?
True-ish.
It's based on truth, for sure. But everything gets twisted a bit when you put it in a poem. You know, you exaggerate certain details.
It's got a rhyme.
My boots didn't come up. You know,
It's got a rhyme. It's got a rhyme.
yeah, it's got a rhyme.
Final course tonight is our dessert, which is a prairie cherry country pie, which comes from, the prairie cherries come from Over the Hill Orchards, which I believe is just outside of town here. In it is also high brush cranberries and blueberries that are picked up near L'Orange. And we have some goat's milk ice cream that is scented with lavender, which comes from L&B Farms, which is actually a lot closer than most farms. It's Lauren's backyard. So
is the flour?
Well, I've really enjoyed the conversation. I've learned a lot, and the food, of course, was excellent. Yeah, I guess that's. And I admire the work that has gone on to for the organic directory.
Great to see that there's restaurants partnering up with local producers to provide such great food.
It highlights all the growers we have in the province, across the province, from La Ronge to the southeast and southwest corners. They've done a great job here of bringing all them together in one meal, and also the difference in flavors. And being such a huge pulse producer in the province, who thought of including lentils and wild rice in a stew that would usually incorporate potatoes? I thought it was great.
Yeah, really interesting to learn about the Organic Directorate, and good to see that there's a group out there promoting this type of food preparation right from the farmer's field all the way up into an end user, such as what we're doing here tonight. And as has been said many times already tonight, this food was phenomenal, and just an overall great evening.
Makes me proud to be from this province, that we have something like this. It was a great idea. I really enjoyed it.
So at the beginning of the evening, my husband and I like to know where our food comes from, and I like the introductions at the beginning saying where each piece came from. And
I want to thank you all for inviting me to take part in this really, truly original feast of the province. And I hope it's a trend that keeps going on, and so that we can teach a whole new rising generation that doesn't know enough about the food and what they eat to value it when they take it. And I think we're going to make headway.
Present the certificate of appreciation. It's awarded to the Fainting Goat and to Chef Lauren Mentplay in appreciation of their participation in Dine with the Star and in furthering the cause of local and organic food awareness. So we've gifted you a complimentary 1-year membership to SOF.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Well,
thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.
That's a good job, guys. Yeah.
There we go.
Wonderful.